Hi, in today's lesson we're going to look at Bruno Major's song Nothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the chords and break it down bit by bit. Okay, so let's start off with the verse. So the rhythm for this song is in 3/4, so it has this kind of waltz feel, but he doesn't strum it like, so he kind of plucks, like he arpeggiates it. Okay, so I'll run through it. Let's go over the chords first. So the first chord is a D chord. I just played regular D, so we have an open D string. Then we have the second fret of the G string, and then we have the third fret of the B string, and then we have the second fret of the high E string. Next is the A with C sharp on the bass. So the way I like to play it is like this. So we have your ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string. Then we have a bar on the 2nd fret of the D, G and B strings. And once again, like there are four strings to be played here, but if you watch him on the live video, he kind of plucks random notes. It's not always structured. He might like hit it, something like that. So that's the A with the C sharp on the bass. Next is B minor. So we have a bar on the 2nd fret from the A string all the way to the high E string. So you put your index finger and you bar the 2nd fret like so. Then next you have your ring finger on the 4th fret of the D string. Then you have your pinky on the 4th fret of the G string. And then you have your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And then the bar covers the high E string. Next we have is a D7 with the A on the bass. There are two ways to play this. So the easier version is using the open chord. So what you're going to do is you're going to play the open A, because we need the A on the bass. You can ignore the open D string. Next, on the G string, put your middle finger on the 2nd fret. Then on the B string, put your index finger on the 1st fret. And then on the high E string, put your ring finger on the 2nd fret. Whoops. Like so. There's another way of playing this. So if you notice, you have a D7 chord here. Sorry, I was supposed to say this is a D7 chord. This is a D7 chord. So if you go to here, there's another D7 shape here, but if you leave go of the ring finger, you have an open A. So I'll show you that. So the D chord normally would be your ring finger on the 5th fret of the A string, then your middle finger on the 4th fret of the D string. Then on the G string you have the pinky on the 5th fret, and then on the B string you have 1st finger on the 3rd fret. So you'd have D7 chord, but we need an A on the bass, so you just leave go the ring finger like so, and then you have your D7 with A on the bass. Next we have is the G chord. I like to play the full G chord here. So put your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string. Then you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. Sorry, you put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. And then the next strings that I have ready to pluck would be the G string, open G string. Then I'd have my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and then I'd have my pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Right. So sometimes what I do, I use my thumb to cover the low E and A string. So like so. That's your G chord. Next we have a D chord with the F on the bass. So the easiest way to play this would be to use your thumb, okay, and then have your normal D chord as you would normally. So how you would play this is you use your thumb, try stretch as much as you can, okay, to cover the 2nd fret of the low E string, okay. Then we're going to jump to the G string, index finger on the 2nd fret. Then on the B string, we're going to have the ring finger on the 3rd fret. And then on the high E string, we're going to have the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. Whoops. We're just going to play like so. This is the easiest way, but if you cannot actually get this thumb over the neck, what you can do is you can bar. So okay, so we have, you can try and bar. So I'm barring the 2nd fret on the E string and the G string. And if you can't do that, at least try get the F sharp on the bass and just play the B and the E string. Okay, so that's our D with the F sharp on the bass. Next we have E7 chord. So this is your standard open shape. So you need your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and you need your let's start off. So you need your E7. So next chord is E7. So you begin with an open E, then you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, then the D, open D. Next is your index finger on the 1st fret of the G string, and then you have your open B and open E. Again, just play this loosely. What I like to do is I play thumb on the low E. Actually, I ignore the middle finger, so you don't even need the middle finger if you do it my way. I play the open D string with my index finger, and then I pluck the G and B string with my middle and ring finger. That's your E7. Next is your asus. Begin by playing an open A. Then you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. And then you put your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. And then you have the open B. That's your asus. You repeat it again, so it goes D, then it goes C sharp, or A with C sharp in the bass, B minor, then we have D7 with A in the bass, G, D with F sharp in the bass, E7, and then asus. Then I guess you could call this a pre-chorus. It goes to D, so you have the open D like before, and it goes to F sharp 7. So this is a new chord. So this is a full 6-string bar chord. You need to bar all the 2nd fret from the low E to the high E. So with the bar, you'll be covering the 2nd fret of the low E string. Then you have your ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string, and then you should have from the bar, the second fret of the D string, and then you have your middle finger on the third fret of the G string. Then you have, from the bar, you have the second fret on the B string and the second fret on the high E string. So don't worry too much about getting the full bar, because when I play this, I don't actually hit the top B and E string. Okay, so don't worry about that. Alternatively, you can get the index finger on the second fret of the D string, and if you can do over the thumb, get the thumb on the second fret of the low E string. That's your F sharp 7. Then we have the B minor like before. And then new chord is D9. Okay, so to play this we need your second finger on the 5th fret of the A string. Then you have the 4th fret of the D string, use your index finger. Then you have the 5th fret of the G string with your ring finger. And then you have the 5th fret with your pinky on the B string. And that's your D9 chord. Then we go back to G. Then we go back to D with F sharp on the bass. And then the new chord is E7 sus 4. So with the E7 sus 4, if you think of E7, we have this shape. All it is just moving one note. So you're going from the G sharp to an A. So to play this, you need open E. Then you put your second finger on the second fret of the A string. Then you have the open D. And then you have your ring finger on the second fret of the G string. And then open B and open E. And then we just go to a normal E7 like before. Okay, for the chorus, there's 2 measures of E minor 9. It's a very nice chord. So what you need to do is you need to move up to the 7th fret of the A string and put your middle finger on that 7th fret. On the D string, put your index finger on the 5th fret of the D string. Then on the G string, put your ring finger on the 7th fret. Whoops. 7th fret on the G string. And then your pinky on the 7th fret of the B string. So this goes twice. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then it goes to G minor. So we have E here. We have to shift up to the 10th fret. So we have E, F, G. So if you notice, this is the same shape. So if you know this shape, basically you push it over 3 frets, is it? 1, 2, 3, yeah, to the G. So starting with this, we go 10th fret of the A string, 8th fret of the A string, then we have the 10th fret on the G string, and 10th fret on the B string. That's your G minor 7. Then we go to C7. So if you remember the shape F sharp 7 up here, I'm going to shift it all the way to the 8th fret and we have C7. So we have the 8th fret, sorry, you have your index barring all of the 8th fret. So we have the 8th fret fretted from that on the low E. Then we have our ring finger on the 10th fret of the A string. Then from the bar, you should have the D string 8th fret fretted. And And then we have the 9th fret with your middle finger on the G string, and then from the bar, the B and the E string should be fretted from your index finger, 8th fret. So it just goes one measure, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so for the chorus, instead of shifting, because you're shifting from C7 to D, instead of playing that open D shape, I like to play D here. So C7 to D. So this D, you begin with your index finger on the 5th fret of the A string. Then you have the, well, I like to do a bar. So I'll show you my preferred way. Like it's a double bar. So bar index, and then I bar 3 strings with my ring finger. So index, 5th fret A string, then I use my ring finger to bar the 7th fret of the D, G, and B strings. And then my bar with my index finger covers the high E string, 5th fret. Okay, so if you find this hard, like the double bar, especially with the ring finger, you don't have to do it that way. You can actually use your middle, ring, and pinky to cover the 7th fret of the D, G, and B strings. But you still need to cover the high. So it will go like 1, 2, 3. The reason why I do this is because we need to shift back into E minor, and we're perfectly within range. So we go D to E minor 9. So E minor 9, like we learned before, same thing again. And then we're in perfect position for an A7. So remember the F sharp 7 up here, C sharp 7, same shape, except we're on the 5th fret. So 5th fret index finger bars all those 6 strings. So 5th fret index finger, low E, ring finger, 7th fret A string. Then from the bar on the D string, we have the 5th fret. Then we have the 6th fret of the G string, use your middle finger. And then the bar should cover the B and the E strings, like so. Okay, so that's the verse and the chorus. So this repeats, the verse repeats exactly the same as before, but the second chorus changes. So the second chorus goes the same: E minor 7, then G minor 7, C7, and then it goes to D here. Then it goes to a D6. So let me show you this chord here. So the way I like to visualize this is the A minor shape, but adding in an extra note. So we're going to start off with the A string pinky on the 5th fret. Then we're going to go to the 4th fret of the D string, put our middle finger. Whoops. So if you get this problem, it's from your pinky. You need to arch it more to create space to make the string sound out. So 4th fret of the D string, 4th fret of the G string, and then we have the index finger on the B string, 3rd fret. So we have that. So we go D, and then we go D6, and then we have C sharp minor 7 flat 5. So don't worry about this chord. If you know your diminished chords, this comes from that variety. So the C sharp, we begin with the index finger on the 4th fret of the A string. Then we have the ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string. Then we have the middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string. And then we have the pinky on the 5th fret of the B string. So that's C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Yeah, it's a mouthful. But But all that is you have your root chord, flat 5, then you have your flat 7, then you have your flat 3. And then it goes to F sharp 7 again. Okay, let's go over the bridge. So the bridge just starts off with a B minor chord, just like what we learned. So let's just go over it again. So it's the 2nd fret on the A string, 4th fret on the D string, 4th fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B string, and then from the bar it's the 2nd fret on the high E string. So it goes 2 measures. Now we have a B minor major 7 chord. This one's kind of awkward to do, but the way I play it is I use middle finger bar, so it's just changing one note. So we're doing a 2nd fret, you're using the bar again, so 2nd fret on the A string, middle finger 3rd fret on the D string. I'm barring with my middle finger on the G and the B strings, and then bar on the high E, but you don't need to use it. This is popularly known as the James Bond chord. It's more so used in jazz than popular music. That's why it sounds kind of weird, but 2 measures of this. There's a reason. This is like a passing chord. It goes into the B minor 7 next. So B minor 7 is very simple. So it's all borrowed from the B minor shape. So we have the bar on the index finger still, 2nd fret of the A string, ring finger on the 4th fret of the D string, then the bar covers the 2nd fret of the G string, then we have the middle finger 3rd fret of the B string again, and then bar 2nd fret high E. 2 measures of this again. And then we go to the E7 sus4. Did we do this one already? Yep, we did this one already, so same thing again. And then I just go to an E7. So then we repeat that. So B minor 7, B minor major 7, B minor 7, and E7 sus4, E7. Then we go to all the way to the 10th fret. We have G minor 9, then to C7. We already went over the G minor 9, but this is a new chord. This is a C7, but it's the same shape as the F sharp 7 that we learned earlier. So for the C7 chord, we need to bar the 8th fret. We need to do 8 on the low E string, 10th fret on the A string, bar covers the 8th fret on the D string, then you have the middle finger on the 9th fret, and then the bar covers the high B and E string with the bar on the 8th fret. So that's your C7, and then we go to F sharp minor 9. So if you think of your G minor 9 shape, you just move that back 1 fret. So we'll go over the shape here. So we have middle finger on the 9th fret of the A string. Then we have the index finger on the 7th fret of the D string. Then we have the ring finger on the 9th fret of the G string. Whoops. G string. Then we have the pinky on the 9th fret of the 9th fret of the B string. So we go, and then we go to B7 shape. So this is basically C7, but just moved back 1 fret. So it's 7th fret. This is a bar chord as well. 7th fret on the E string, 9th fret on the A string, 7th fret on the D string, 8th fret on the G string, 7th fret on the B and E strings. So that's your B7 chord. And then it goes back to your E minor 9 chord for 2 measures. And then it ends with this A13 flat 9 chord. So this comes from the A7 chord. But all we're doing is we're adding in a flat 9. So flat 9 is B flat to A. It is dissonant there, but from the transition from E minor 9, it sounds much better like that. So A13 flat 9 goes like this. So we put index finger on the low E string, middle finger on the, so we skip the A string, we're on the D string of the 5th fret, then your ring finger on the G string, 6th fret, skip the B string, and then on the high E, pinky on the 6th fret. And you don't need the top flat one, but if you want, 2 measures of this. It's kind of dissonant, so if you hit it for the first measure, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it's perfectly fine. Okay, let's do the outro. So the outro is very similar to the verse. We go with a D chord, A with a C sharp in the bass, B minor. Then we have a D7 with the A in the bass. Before I showed you this shape with the open A. So open A, then we have 4th fret on the D, 5th fret on the G, and then 3rd fret on the B string. You can just put your ring finger on the 5th fret of the low E string to cover the A. So I'll show you this chord. It's just a variation. If you like to play it with the open A, you can do that. So we have the ring finger on the 5th fret of the low E string. We skip the A string. We have the 4th fret on the D string, 5th fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B string, and then you ignore the high E string. Exactly the same. So open A, then fretted 5th fret, because we're doing the same note. Okay, so that's the D7 with A. You can also play it as I showed you earlier as well. So D7 with the open A. So it's personal preference. Then we have a G, D with F sharp in the bass, E7, D9, back to G, F sharp 7, B minor, D9, G, D with F sharp in the bass, E7 does 4, E7, then 2 measures of E minor 9, G minor 9, then we have C sus 4. So this is very similar to the C7, but instead we're playing just one note different. So you have to bar all of the 8th fret. You can use your middle finger because that's free to press up against the index for support. So we have 8 on the low E string, 10 with your ring finger on the 10th fret, and then we have the 8th fret on the D string, that's covered from your bar. There you go. Pinky on the 10th fret of the G string, and then the B and the E strings are covered by the 8th fret bar. That's the C sus4. Then we have B minor. So instead of going here for the B minor, I play the B minor up here because the next chord that we need, it's better positioning. So for this B minor chord, very similar to the C sus shape, this is a 6-string bar chord, all the 7th fret. So you can also reinforce with your middle finger because we were not going to be using that. So 7th fret low E string, ring finger on the 9th fret of the A string, and 9th fret of the D string with your pinky, and then your G, B, and E will be barred. Whoops. Like so. So if you're B minor, and then you go to F sharp 9. So we learned D9 here. It's the same thing on the 9th fret. So we're going to start with the A string, middle finger on the 9th fret. Then on the D string, index finger on the 8th fret. And then on the G string, it's the ring finger on the 9th fret. And then pinky on the 9th fret of the B string. Then we're just going to move that 1 fret and we have F9. And then we move it again, back 1, so we're on the 7th fret now, and this is the E9. And then we go to E minor 9 for 2 measures, and then we have the A7 chord. So the A7 is a 6-string bar, it's a 5th fret on the low E string, 7th fret on the A string. The bar covers the 5th fret on the D string. Then we have the 6th fret on the G string. And then on the B and the E, the index finger bar covers the 5th fret on those. So it's 2 measures of that. And then the final lick goes like this. So I like to play it like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to go 10th fret on the B string. I use my ring finger because I'm going to be moving up that way. So ring finger 10th fret on the B string, and then pinky on the 10th fret of the high E string. So you're going to go 10, 10, 10, and then you're going to shift, so it's the 9th fret of the B string, and you're going to plant your pinky there. It's not going to move for the 10th fret again. So if you think of the first phrase, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then move back 1 more fret again. So it's 8th fret on the B string to the 10th fret of the high E string. So 1, 2, 3, and then we end with the D chord shell. So D chord shell, we played the D chord earlier here. So it's basically 7th fret on the D, G, and B. You just end like that. So one more time. So they're the chords for Bruno Major's song Nothing. Hopefully that will help you learn the song. I'm not a very good singer, so I'm not going to sing this song. If you have any questions about the chords, maybe some chord variations that you didn't understand, leave them in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.